Here we have an IDF whistleblower who served in the IDF, uh, speaking about how the IDF is shooting unarmed civilians, unarmed Palestinians, going around and just murdering as many people as they can. Hopefully, after uh, more IDF members see this who are actually against what the Israeli government is doing, will also speak out.
This is something that I'm going to carry the rest of my life, obviously. And the way I look at it, my way of redeeming myself, is to do anything I can to make justice and peace in this area.
Channel 4 News has conducted a rare interview with an Israeli soldier who served on the ground in Gaza.
There are literally people going around in Israel killing innocent civilians, right? All around. And this is something that needs to be stopped. And I'm needed partly to do that as well. Especially in the first couple of weeks. It felt right. So yeah, it just made sense in a way that it didn't before.
Jake, not his real name, shares the reality of what he witnessed.
I was serving in a commanding unit of a battalion that was fighting in Gaza. On the first couple of weeks, no one went in, right? So we were just sitting on our asses, essentially looking in screens, essentially the drones going above Gaza. You just go through those channels and you look for those buildings just falling. It feels like Netflix, it feels like a video game for the first couple of days. But there is a moment you realize it's a freaking actual house. It just got completely destroyed. And I don't know.
A lot of militaries have been setting up, where you just watch through cams and stuff as you control drones or whatever. It's a way to disconnect people from what they're actually doing so that they don't feel like they're, killing innocent real people.
No, but there probably were some people in there. Maybe they are terrorists, maybe they are not, or Hamas, whatever. But you don't know. And then you start asking yourself, are all of those strikes, airstrikes, necessary? Or are we just having a light hand on the trigger here? And then it starts, and once it starts, it never stops.
Israel's war in Gaza has been one of the deadliest and destructive in modern times. Israel says it's only targeting Hamas, but has been accused of killing thousands of innocent civilians.
Right, because the 34,000 innocent people dead are Hamas, even the babies, according to the Israeli government, which shows that they're just flat out lying, that they're not killing innocent people.
A lot of them don't draw the line between what we call militants or terrorists and what we would call civilians. After the 7th, for example, people saw those videos of those people being paraded through the streets around Gaza, right? And those people cheer or even take part in whatever it is. So they say, like, all of them are part of it. Like, they all support it.
Which is not true. Not every single person in Gaza supports Hamas, but they are the government at the moment. But that still doesn't mean that every single person in Gaza supports Hamas and what they do. I, that claim is just a justification to treat every single Palestinian as a terrorist.
Over 13,000 Palestinian children have been killed since October 7th, according to UNICEF. Jake says the killing of civilians, including children, was not a major concern in the units he served in.
No one is batting an eye. No one is questioning. It's like it's a given that if someone is in this area that we are in because everyone was supposed to be evacuated, if someone is there, they are Hamas.
Which is just another justification to kill kids. Oh, there's a child in the evacuation area that wasn't in this area that was to evacuate. Obviously Hamas, so let's murder them. It's their lives are easily being destroyed because people can see what the Israeli government is actually doing.
On several occasions, media outlets have reported on IDF soldiers attacking civilians who are unarmed or even surrendering.
There was a guy holding.
Which it is a war crime to kill people surrendering, which is what a white flag means. Means I'm surrendering. I'm unarmed. I'm not a threat. but the IDF will still murder those people.
Something white or having a white t-shirt that was like what's going on the radio, and he was approaching one of the places where one of the units was, and then the soldiers starts yelling like in Arabic, like stop, stop, or I will shoot you. And then the person starts running away, and then he shoot them and kill them. And then you ask yourself, like, did we just kill someone who was just, was just trapped in the situation?
As the
Wow, they shot a person running away. How is that self-defense to murder people that aren't a threat, people that are running away from you?
war continues in Gaza, Jake sees no end to the conflict that has taken the lives of 34,000 Palestinians. He blames the leaders of both sides for creating a bloodbath.
It's a situation, right? When I was there, I was doing it. Now it's just being done in my name. It's horrible. And it's very frustrating and despairing knowing this is where we're going, right?
It's still mostly the Israeli government's fault. They're the occupying force here. They're the one with pretty much unlimited fire, and with the backing of the United States, basically unlimited funds. They're the ones that have been oppressing the Palestinians for like 75 years now. This is all majority the Israeli government's fault.
Because you have to look at the 7th, right? Which was also a horrendous event. And essentially what it feels like our government and their government, Hamas, right? They are actually on the same team that essentially want to see this piece of land just being soaked with blood.
Despite the claims,
Well, Bibi Netanyahu does fund or help funds Hamas or help them get funds. Uh, Hamas was solely about a one-state solution, just like the Israeli government. Though recently, a senior Hamas officials come out saying that they would accept a ceasefire if Palestinians are allowed to have their own state.
on several occasions the IDF has completely rejected any allegations of deliberately firing on civilians. They claim to follow international law and say they take feasible precautions to mitigate civilian harm.
So if they're not deliberately targeting civilians, they're indiscriminately targeting civilians, and that's still a war crime.